And we are, come on. Okay, it's streaming. We're ready. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good Friday. It's actually Good Friday today. Let's see. Okay, my video is off. I just turned it on. Oh, give me a minute. And I need to change my camera. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sudha Live. And here we are. Another Friday, end of the week. Hope you're all having a good week. Let me change my camera here. Okay, doesn't matter. So for those of you who are here on our regular Friday, this is Sudha Live, and I'm Sudha Jamthe. I'm super excited to come and share AI opportunities with you. And for those of you who are new, this noise you hear in the background, if you're hearing it, is not my usual background. I have some construction going on, so you'll have to bear with me. So I'm going to speak louder than that, hopefully. So what do we do here? Next half an hour, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, opportunities in the space. We will get to what's happening. Maybe, I'll pick a topic usually and go deeper. Let's see where we go this week. But I will share events, courses, jobs, and fellowships, and all the good stuff from a global perspective. So wherever you are, if you're waking up, in Asia and it's morning for you, thank you for joining us on a Saturday, especially during the Easter break, for those of you who are celebrating. Okay, so thank you. See, I told you about the sound. Oh my God. Okay. Let's pretend we are in an airport. Okay. Okay. So what I want to do is first, as we look at what is happening in the AI space, I could actually say, hey, all these events are happening and this and that. But I am very excited. I always like to congratulate people on something new that they're doing. I've been talking about inclusive AI and AI research in AI ethics space, and I admire so many people in this space. You've not heard about Abhishek Gupta from me, but he is the founder and principal researcher at Montreal AI Ethics Institute. And congratulations to Abhishek Gupta, because now he's joined BCG as a responsible AI leader. For those of you who have taken AI ethics or inclusive AI classes with me, or Renee Cummings or Susanna Raj, you were always thinking about how do I bring that to my job? Or if you're totally outside of the AI space or AI ethics space, how do you come in and create a role for yourself? And here Abhishek Gupta is an example, because he created this whole Montreal AI Ethics Institute, and they have amazing set of volunteers and so much diversity in a lot of activities they do. You should definitely check them out. But then, as the subject matter expert, he's decided to go and make his mark in BCG to affect a whole bunch of clients. So the other activity that happened that I was lucky to, get a sneak peek was that I had shared about this. There is this deep learning Onada in Tunis, and Ruth Nuduta and Julian Carbonell were there, doing a hackathon or participating in a hackathon in Africa. There is so much energy in Africa, with a lot of people learning deep learning and machine learning. So I hope I get to work with some of them, but they're building amazing apps and AI models, and doing wonderful stuff. So for those of you who are new to this, one of the things I'll be doing is, as I'm sharing links here, you don't need to go scramble and say, where is it? How do I get to it? I will be posting the links in the comments. If you're sharing, if you add a comment, ask questions, I will come back and answer that. This is streamed on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And also, if you go to bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter, you can get to my newsletter, which will go out on Sunday with all the links. Okay. And the third person that I wanted to congratulate I'm going to share that link in a minute. And then I'm going to bring our special guest today, because occasionally we have a guest. We don't always have a guest. But this one, before I bring the guest, is a very special person. Here is this Gen Z social activist, and she's a force to be reckoned with. Here, this is the youngest person ever to be featured on Forbes 30 under 13, and she is just 13. This is Marley Diaz, and this is her story. So she started a grassroots campaign called 1,000 Black Girl Books. It's amazing. And she's created a whole searchable database and whatnot, so you can get access to all that. So congratulations, Marley Diaz. Thank you. Okay. So with that, I'm going to bring in our special guest. And whenever, when I'm talking about some achievement, I'm always like, extra happy if it is my student. And one of the things, while we are trying to pretend like life goes on as usual, people are celebrating Ramadan, some people are celebrating Easter, and it's Good Friday. And some of us are just going off into our weekends. But there is this war raging in Ukraine. And it's a very, very, very unfair situation, because the whole world is trying to stop it and get involved. And guess what? We are on the 51st day. And so let me bring in Vlad. Vlad, do you want to join us? If you want, you can come on camera. I would love that. Thank you for finding time. I'm going to pin you here so people can see you.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. We can hear you. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing for supporting the war in Ukraine.
Thank you. My name is Vlad. I am originally from Ukraine. I lived the last 7 years in San Francisco, United States. I'm a product manager, and I'm a graduate student of Sudha. She actually introduced me to the world of AI, and I am AI product manager for the last, I don't know anymore how many years. I love it. But everything changed. You're right. Like since this 51 day ago, after Russia invaded Ukraine, it's really hard. I never expected this to happen. I think we always thought that, Russia won't cross this line. They would never do that. And yet they're doing this. And with every day of war, we're doing what crimes they're doing in Ukraine. This is very brutal.
Yeah.
And I have many friends there. I have family, but I also have many relatives here and friends in the United States who don't know Ukraine, but they see what's going on. They see all the unfairness and how Ukraine protects the world values and democratic values. So it's a lot.
So brave. They've been so brave. The least we can do is share information. And, so many tech companies are, pulled out of Russia, and so many companies have come up with jobs.
Exactly. So, at first, everyone thought that Ukraine will just, Russia would invade Ukraine within a few days, but then Ukraine started to resist and actually protecting a lot of their territories. So the vast part of Ukraine remained uncaptured and not even invaded by Russia, and companies working there. I have many friends and companies we are working with back in Ukraine. And everyone who is relocated currently from Eastern territories, from South, actually are qualified and very experienced engineers, data scientists, UX designers, software engineers. They're looking for jobs, and we never seen such a huge boom in career-seeking opportunities. The company I'm working for hired a lot of people since the war started. And we have a huge, very strong pool of candidates coming. We strongly encourage everyone who can hire in Ukraine to do that. Ukraine changed currently tax policy, so they reduces significantly taxes for Ukraine IT. I think it's only like 2% or something. So, there is a lot of people they are very qualified, very experienced. They want to get some job, and you have opportunity support not only them and their families, but also support Ukraine, because I talk to people and everyone sends at least half of what they earn just to help and support military volunteers. And we, you were asking a little bit what I am doing. So I'm posting everyday news. It's kind of started just the first day. I just wanted to share with everyone on Facebook, because some of my connections were asking in the network, like, what's going on. So I just answered a few people, then decided to make a post. And on the second day, I did that on the second day. And now it's the first day, and I just posted my update before.
Can I share the screen? Yes, let me share that.
Yeah, please go for it. And the reason for this was that there was really a vacuum of truth. Like you wouldn't really know what's going on there. I think the situation is much better these days. There is a lot of press from Europe and United States that describe things. I still find that because I translate everything from Ukrainian and Russian, I get some of the news much faster.
Yeah.
And I try to summarize, so you don't need to do doom scrolling and just spend your entire day on researching news, finding what is true, what is not. So this is only verified information, just summarized in 5 minutes that you can digest quickly. But since the last few weeks, my focus area a little bit changed. I have a friend who is currently in a military operation, and he protects Ukraine territories in Zaporizhia, and they had a need for some equipment. I started fundraising for them, and we just raised the 10,000 in a few days.
Oh, I did not realize that. I just thought this was just news sharing, that you were bringing real news beyond, whatever is.
Yeah, so you can find we actually work with the Zaire Foundation. We already have over $300,000 we collected since war began.
Yeah.
And we send those to support 3 direction, basically refugees relocated to the west part of Ukraine, support for the military and hospital on the front line, and also support infrastructure. That's something I have been doing with many other people. But this was something I just did for people who I know from the area where I grew up. I was sitting with that person at the school, and now he said like, oh, we need a few things. And I kind of dived deep into this group and network of people who are actually volunteers and working with each other, finding stuff, collecting money. I discovered this incredible world of very motivated people. And now I'm probably spending most of my free time just working with them, trying to find the supplies and funding for some of the programs they're working on. So I never knew that the volume and the scale of things are happening. You would always hear that, oh, there are volunteers, there's some people who support. There are like about hundreds of different chats only not in San Francisco, maybe in the United States, that do collect money, that do support people and send supplies. And I am in all of in some of them, and it's unbelievable how many people are there and what incredible job they're doing.
This is amazing. I saw that. I'm a big believer in everything I teach, right? It's about personal leadership. When people come to say, I want to do a career pivot, I want to go solve a problem for my community, it's all about the individual drive. And in this case, it's just amazing how you're mobilizing this. Even when people try to write newsletters on any topic, right? It just feels like work. I see this so consistently pop up. I want to share the screen back again so people can follow that. It's called Ukraine News in 5 minutes. And then each day it actually gives the date, and it's a very, very stark reminder of how many days the war is still going on in spite of all the things that we hear. And so it's on LinkedIn, Ukraine War in 5 minutes. It's a newsletter. So I would recommend all of us to just subscribe so you can read and, you can decide for yourself. But, the truth is so stark, it's so obvious. And the least we can do is, share information and use our platforms to help out. And thank you. I'll go check out the fundraising, because LinkedIn has a thread which I post on my newsletter, and I'm keeping it up to date on all the different ways that we can support the Ukraine war. So I know about other, Save the Children and so many other organizations who are collecting money or trying to do some humanitarian help in Ukraine. So we are not plugged into the chats that you are in, and you're really connected with family there. It must be so heart-wrenching to kind of go through that. So I hope this finishes soon. And, I heard about how in Europe there are makeshift camps set up for refugees coming in from Ukraine, and to give them jobs. And there is a whole, it's woken up the world to go do the right thing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sudha. Just last word, I don't really know how long this is going to last. We all hope for quick resolution, but we have seen examples in this world when it lasts years.
Yeah.
It's really up to us as humanity to stop it, and being vocal about things that we believe we support, and be proactive in expressing our thoughts and demanding actions from our government, because if we don't care, no one cares.
Yeah.
And Ukraine, if we just let them alone, they can fight and win this war, but themselves to win it's going to take a really long time. But only together we can find really quick resolution to this.
Yes, I mean, it is surprising for people who did not know enough about Ukraine that they could stand up to Russia and win. And so we keep hearing all the news about how Russia is losing on different fronts.
Yesterday, we just learned that, officially their big this ship was destroyed, and that was the flagman of the Russian fleet. So we are very excited for things to happen like that, but we hope that additional 2 military operations, sanctions can be strengthened, and politics can be more dedicated to solve this problem, because not everything can be solved through war. There are many other tools we can use as a society, and just regular people like you and me were helping making these things to happen, and then just support soldiers. So hopefully we're doing the primary job, not they there.
Yeah. I mean, even if we say it's war and they're winning, there's always people who are getting hurt. So many of them that we don't see in news or hear about it, and families separated out. It's just so horrible, and the repercussions of this is lifelong, or many decades, right? So thank you for doing this. Thank you for finding the time to come talk to us. I hope this resolves quickly, and we get, and this is like a wake-up call, because there's what's going on everywhere, and this is a wake-up call that we get to be better people helping each other. So
exactly, it's not only about what's happening in Ukraine, it's a system that we should change as a society. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Vlad. I appreciate you joining me here. Okay, so with that, I'm going to resume our normal programming, but it's very hard to follow from there. So I hope you will follow Vlad on, what he was talking about, and, do your part, and, get yourself informed. And even if it is not just that, I hope you will, if you can do your part, it's great. If not, this has been a call for corporate social responsibility, with the number of companies, everybody thinking about what can they do to do their part. For me, I realize I have a platform. We're talking about AI, and we're talking about AI ethics and being inclusive. And, we had this session from Lisa Abeta at last week's Iot Day. We had a session about kindness in urban development. And that set the tone for the entire live session of 5 hours. Whatever we were planning to talk about, everybody in the panel picked up on Lisa's session on kindness in urban development. It sounds a lot like, being empathetic and being inclusive in all our technology building and AI and whatnot that we've been talking always. But the way Lisa Abeta has been approaching that, she I believe heads urban development for city of Albuquerque, New Mexico in US. And that talk, I will be sharing that back with you in the newsletter. So, and I'll add a link here where you guys are chatting with me. So let me continue back and hope you'll follow Vlad on his 5 minutes newsletter. Yeah. So I think this is when I'm seeing you after IoT Day on April 9th, because we had our Sudha live and then we went off into this whole 24-hour marathon on April 9th, which is our usual IoT Day is beyond me. I'm not a person who's organized. It was just God. I'm just one of the people who's organizing an event for IoT Day. So it's iotday.org, has like tons of events. If you missed it, you can go back and see what you can see a replay of. And IoT is about connecting everything and getting data, and the data leads to AI, and it raises issues of privacy and ethics. And so it kind of, I started out with IoT, and IoT kind of became a foundation of leading into everything I do. And this is my 4th year, along with Roxy Stimson, to host IoT Day as a day long. And day long is not just my time zone. It's IoT, and we host this thing called Iot Day Women, which is all women speakers, and we bring them from various different time zones. And we started out at 3 p.m. my time here in California, which is 9 a.m. in Melbourne, with Professor Malka Halgamuge. And she talked to us about, she did a session on blockchain. And then we picked up from there. So we had some sessions, like we had Ruth Naduta from East Africa did a session on BERT. Sam Wigglesworth from UK taught us NLP and tied back to BERT in a very different dimension. Ruth did a session with a collab, walking us through how to build BERT models. It was a very fascinating mix. And then we had like research papers from some researchers, and it was quite a mix of topics from different experts from around the globe. And we went all through the night, and in the morning, my time, we ended up doing this live panel with me and Roxy, and Susanna joined us, and Yash did a session on research, right? Basically, our theme was AI research. I had done a paper, or I had done a session on Research 101. So Yash did a session on how to build a research paper, and showed 2 of her research papers. And she said, how do you find the data set for it, was the theme. And so one of the things we are doing is, because it was 24 hours, it's too much content. Even if you love it, you can't have absorbed all of it. So what we are doing is, we are going back with our weekly Wednesday, our weekly speaker series, and inviting some of these amazing, brilliant women to come and talk to us on a live Q&A. That's what we do at Weekly Wednesday. What you heard was 20-minute sessions from every speaker. Now we are bringing them to do a 1-hour live Q&A, and you can talk to them and ask questions. And so Yash took the lead on that and said, hey, I did the session, which was 20 minutes, and it was live during, afternoon in California time. And she stayed up for it from India. But she said, what about the others who missed it? And so she did that as a session at Weekly Wednesday. And that is available on YouTube. And all our Weekly Wednesday sessions, if you're signed up on Weekly Wednesday, is already live. Let me go show you something. 1 second. So one of the things I did is I did a session on LinkedIn. I did a post on LinkedIn giving the schedule of all these speakers and topics and whatnot. But I wanted to make sure that you get access to it. So the easiest thing is, if you go to Business School of AI, and this one is like my pet project. You don't need to be, signed up anywhere. If you sign up for this, you're not going to get invites on my courses or anything else, because we are very big on following GDPR and respecting privacies. So if you go to businessschoolofai.com, in here it says IoT Day, and then we have a landing page, so we can get your marketing permission to send you email, so we can send you the recording of all these women. And if you're already signed up and you showed up that day, then let me go show that link. So some people signed up on, let me show you. We have a landing page. This is our landing page for business, for IoT Day that we've been running for 4 years. So if you already signed up. So if you signed up, you would have got an invitation to join here. Otherwise, if you're already on any of my courses on weekly Wednesday, you will find this IoT Day event and you can just sign up. And this is the schedule of all that we did with a very amazing set of women. And then this is the set of live panels we did. Data set for research is what Yash repeated back at weekly Wednesday. We're going to bring a few more of that. There was an amazing session by Divya Dwivedi about AI audits. And she brought in gender equality because that's her life passion. And there was a high school student, Pariya Sarin, who was my amazing intern. Thank you so much, Pariya. She did this session on idea to app. And she's passionate about climate justice. So as a high school student, she knows coding. She said, okay, I want to build an app for climate change. And she went through the process of what it took to go from idea to app. It's brilliant stuff. So there's a lot more here. I'm not going to go through all of that. But if you're signed up here on Business School of AI to these sessions, to the IoT Day camp, you will get access to all of these in under the curriculum section. So you can go to, Halgam Gay's blockchain session or, my research 101 session and so on. And we brought Manpreet Budraja's data engineering session from last year. We did a replay of one of them. And this is the Bert session from Ruth Nudutta. We did a replay of the deep learning NLP conversation we had with Tejumade and her colleagues from AI Saturday, a bunch of things. And Sam Wigglesworth was back. This is a whole new session. If you have heard Sam Wigglesworth NLP session, this is not the repeat. Every time Sam teaches NLP, I learn something new. And so there's a bunch of that. And Maddie Liang did a very unique one. She has career pivoted to UX research. And she did a session on that. And of course, Pamela Gupta is our cybersecurity expert. So she was back talking about cybersecurity. So there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff. And here is Lisa's kindness in urban planning one. So don't miss any of this. You can get access to all of them and you can check out the speakers and stuff. And if you are so curious, you can go back and look at last year's sessions on 2021, and you can go back even below that and go look at the 2020 session. So I think we have tons of content here, but it can be pretty overwhelming. So what we are going to do is we are sending out an email on a week. So first we are going to bring some of the speakers because it might not make time zone sense for everybody. So we're going to bring some of the speakers at weekly Wednesday to come and have a conversation with us. So if you watch the 20-minute session, then come prepared and have a live conversation. That would be the best use of your time and their time, right? You can get more value. The second thing is we are going to send out an email. We do this for a little time. I have somebody who could potentially help me as an intern on this. So if I get that help, then we'll be sending this out on a weekly basis for a series of sessions so that you can get this on email. This is not in my regular newsletter. You will find the weekly Wednesday. You'll find this Sudha Live and all the links that we are going to be sharing here. But everybody who signed up and attended, I think we had 124 people, and we also streamed live on all the channels. So if you're one of them, then you can get the email with each session, and Yash's offered to do a whole post about each session, write up about it, and then get the embed of that. So it's going to be amazing learning. So if you're interested, go to businessschoolofai.com and sign up. Or if you're already signed up on Teachable on Business School of AI, you're going to be getting this from us. And we are very big on GDPR and privacy. So you will not get any other spam on anything else. And you can always unsubscribe from anything from, it says, okay, I wanted to learn this. This seems like too much. I want to pause this. You're not going to get booted out of any other things. You're not going to get a spam on anything else. We're going to keep that as a separate list. So hope that would be the start of, getting, and learning from this amazing set of women. And we also had a theme of AI research. So I'm hoping that all our speakers, plus many of you who are watching, were inspired to say, I could do research. It looks approachable. What's involved? I work in this area, in this country, on this topic I'm passionate about. Maybe it's NLP, maybe it is something else. And so we could collaborate and go do some research papers. Even if you're just thinking if this is for you and it's overwhelming, come talk to me. And we can figure out. And, you can talk to Yash. You can come talk to us at weekly Wednesday or reply back to the newsletter. I think the newsletter will go back to Yash, I believe. Talk to people and talk to us, and we will help you. at least get started. And we are looking at weights and bias site, which is used by AI researchers to see, is that a site we can use for collaboration? So I'm an independent researcher. I teach AI at Stanford Continuing Studies. I teach AI ethics at Business School of AI. I teach at Barcelona Technology School. But I also do independent research, collaborate with amazing people. I try to surround myself with people smarter than me again and again and again. That's how I keep learning. And so I would like to collaborate with you. I like my students are always collaborating with each other. So if that's something you want to do, I'm looking at weights and bias as the site so that we can, we when you start doing a research, you have to, look at data sets and, to build some experiments and produce the results and then write this up as a paper. Many people find that aspect intimidating. They have the knowledge, they know what they're talking about, and they can come up with original research, but then putting it in the right template and format and asking how to publish that seems like an unknown till you start doing it. And so if you have used weights and research, I want feedback from you. If you're not using weights and research, if you're using some other product, talk to me, because I want to see what one tool can we use. Because when we started collaborating across my students' teams, we had to put things in Google Drive, and then we had to share, and then upload here and there, and then build a whole document somewhere. It was kind of very inefficient, to say the least. And then one of the things we do is we put all our content, like our new data sets that we would create as part of a research, or any models or any tools that we would use, we put that all on GitHub. So I hope you will also put that on GitHub and collaborate. And if you're in the field of AI, or any aspect of AI that you're passionate about, this is a chance to create a footprint so that other people can build on your work, you can build on other people's work, and then it's going to create like a project repository for you, if you're using this to show in your jobs or career pivot. So think about it. There is a personal motivation, but like we were talking with Vlad, it's about personal leadership. Why do you want to do this? There's got to be something more bigger that drives you. So I hope you'll collaborate with us. Okay, so I went off into a very philosophical space. I'm going to come back to my list here. There is a very beautiful session that was done by one of my students, Aisha Gwadape. You've heard me rave about her because I'm a big fan of her work.
Welcome to the IoT Day.
One second. Let me share the screen. Okay. So this is Aisha Gwadape. She's a peace technologist. And here is the list of 24 women who did the IoT Day session. So we called it #24 in 24 AI. So even if you go by this hashtag, you will find all our videos and all our tweets and whatnot. Okay. So Aisha spoke about something called digital humanities.
Presentation, AI and art with you. Promoting peace in the world. In particular, I worked in West Africa, in Benin, Niger, Burkina Faso, and also currently working on the peace process in the Middle East. You can find me on the list of top 100 women in AI ethics.
She's brilliant.
And
they rightfully called her 100 brilliant.
I've demonstrated my ability to develop AI solutions to promote peace. The topic of this year's IoT Day is research. So what really influences me a lot is digital humanities. And there it is really important to define what is meant by that. Digital humanities, for me, means participating in the world while being attentive to technologies and their implications for human beings. That's a definition that I can assign to. There's so many different definitions out there. That's why I shared this link with you here in my presentation, where whenever you refresh the page, it gives you another definition. My main focus is really to look at exponential technologies. And these exponential technologies are those that enable change at a rapidly accelerating nonlinear pace. For instance, 3D printing, advanced analytics, blockchain, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, IoT. They're all exponential technologies. My recent research has been really focusing on the different iterations of the web. Web 1 being a more read-only version of the web, like in the beginning of the 90s. Then you have Web 2, where we are at currently with social media, people being increasingly connected. And then we have Web 3, which includes the metaverse, virtual reality, increased complex algorithms and smart machines. Also, I've been looking into digital humanities from Web 2 to Web 3, and also into how the different apps that we know, like the browsers, where we store our information, how we use video and audio calls, how that has changed now into decentralized systems.
Okay, I'm going to pause here because she's done this as like a half an hour session. And I would love for you to listen to the whole thing. Given that we are here talking about AI opportunities, I just wanted you to understand this whole concept of digital humanities. And also, if you notice, when we're talking about AI research, here is Aisha Godape. She is a peace technologist. She keeps learning whatever the latest in technology, not just for her fascination with technology, which some of us share with each other, but she wants to bring it to the peace process. And so she and she shared her research and how she sees the evolution of this technology from her lens. So I might sit here in Silicon Valley working in technology industry. I would have a certain lens. And those of you who are listening to this, watching this from various worlds, have your own point of view from your own life experience. And we all need to come together. That's the only way we can make AI that works for all of us, right? And so I find the way Aisha goes about this very fascinating. And so the research she has published that she shared on the screen I showed just now is about the transition from Web 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0, and then that's her paper. So I hope it gives you an idea. So, when I work with engineers, they think of, okay, I'm going to come up with the research and we'll create a different model for this, or we'll create code for this. The way Yash always does her research is she wants to change things from a very product lens, and she's very strong in building models in AI. So she kind of goes towards that. I tend to go towards data. So I look at data and say, is this data inclusive? Is this data set good enough to be used when I pick an open data set, and how can we make it inclusive? So I look for insights in that data. So you might come from a data lens, you might come from a product lens, you might come with a design lens, or you could come with a peace technologist lens. You could come with a different dimension of humanities. We need all of that. So talk to us. Hopefully we'll be able to do something together, or at least I can guide you on a path, even if I'm not calling all of you to just do papers with me, because that's impossible, but maybe I'll guide you, and I'll get to read interesting work from you. Okay, there was an interesting, I'm going to switch gears because now we are reaching almost the end of our Sudha live session. So I want to share opportunities and interesting stuff that I always promise. And one of them is Henry Mulak, who's one of my students, did a paper recently. Let me show the video of that, will be easier. He did a blog post. He's a journalist at NBC here in Silicon Valley. Let me show this. And again, whenever I share any brand or companies, I have no affiliation to anybody. So let us see. Maybe they'll show the ad and only then show us this. Can escape the ad maybe? Okay. So I'm going to pause, let it run the ad, and then I'm going to show you the real thing. Yeah. So basically, there was a self-driving car from Cruise that was stopped by a cop. And then it went and hit it got stopped, and then it resumed back, and then it went and hit a construction zone. So that was the big news here in my world, because it was like, oh my God, a cop pulls over a self-driving car. So, but Henry did a very nice article about that. So wanted to share that. I'm not going to show you that because I don't want to show the ad. So I will share the link, and if you feel like seeing the ad, that's great. If not, you can just get to the actual video. It was shared all over social media. And in terms of other resources, there's tons of stuff that's happening. All this stuff like the Yash's article, the weekly Wednesday presentation, all that, and Digital Humanities from Aisha Tugudapi. I'm going to share all that. I'll share this NBC story from Henry Muller. And then there is a bunch of other activities. This is, let me find the paper. I usually like to share call for papers and stuff so that you can go participate in those, because those are all opportunities. There is a IJCAI organization, and they have a call for paper for the 2022 AI awards. Where is it on my screen? I keep sharing and unsharing here. Okay. So again, I will share the link of this IJCAI.org. They do some interesting stuff. This is this, right? This is the International Joint Conferences on Artificial Intelligence Organization. And they have this, they had a call for proposal to host for next year, or not next year, they plan 3 years out. So for 2026, this award nomination is the one that I was showing you. They also have an AI hub that's worth checking out. So this is the award nomination that is due. And here, okay. And let me go back. What else have I got? The Harvard Berkman Klein Center has started a new institute for rebooting social media. Isn't that a cool name? Rebooting social media. Instead of complaining that social media is not working for us, they said, what if we reboot it? And look at the cool logo they made out of it, the rebooting, you know. This is the institute. These are the people involved. They share events. They share a lot of stuff. The bio of all these people involved, the researchers involved, is just amazing. And this is their announcement. And I believe they also have a call for people to be involved. They always have a bunch of fellowship opportunities. So look out for this. And hopefully, you'll be able to participate. I will again share this back in our Jamthe newsletter shortly. Okay, am I sharing the screen, guys? Can somebody nod and tell me whether you're seeing the screen being shared or not? It's like I'm not sharing the screen, so I'm going to go back to share this. Thank you for letting me know. So this is the Harvard Berkman Klein Center. This is the Institute for Rebooting Social Media. This is what I was pointing to. I had not shared the screen, so you didn't know why I was so fascinated by this logo. See, it's rebooting like a circle. And these are all their research fellows, people involved. Here it is. So hopefully you will participate in rebooting social media with them. And then they have a whole bunch of visiting scholars. There's an opportunity for visiting scholars to be part of the institute. So these are the visiting scholars that they had in there. So hopefully you'll check out their bio and follow them and their work. And this is of interest to you, maybe you will collaborate and get to do something fun. Okay, so there is also a 2022 challenge and perception data set. I think it's version 1.3 from Waymo. So those of you who are focused on AV, from building AV computer vision models, that is something that you should check out. And then there is an interesting report that is coming, which is a research report that is coming from Women in AI. Let me see if I can quickly find that for you. Women in AI. Women in AI. So the Women in AI is a force. They have Women in AI here in US. They have one for in Europe, but they also have for various parts of the world. So I believe there is a report that is coming. It's going to be globally researched, released by the Women in AI president after an event. So I'm going to share that with you in a minute. Let me share my screen. I've forgotten that I've not shared. Here, this is being announced from Women in AI Sweden. And they have done a Women in AI at Work report that is going to be released on 26th April. And they have AI Sweden's My AI launch event. And this is open for anybody to sign up. So you can sign up, participate in their launch event. And I will share this link. Hopefully you will be able to listen to Alessandra Sala. She is the president of Women in AI. And she actually is a senior director of AI and data science at Shutterstock. Okay, so I hope you will be joining me because I'm going to be there on 26th, listening to this research report. It's been, I've been hearing a lot about it. So I don't know which of it is public, so I can't tell you what this is about, but hopefully you will join me on the 26th. Okay. The other thing, I saw an interesting tweet. Let me see what I wanted to share that from Ken Kohlberg. Back to sharing the screen here. So this is, thank you, Ken. This is a call for paper from CORL. It's a 6th conference on robot learning, which will be hosted in New Zealand in December. But there's a call for paper that is happening, and you have till December, not till December. The event is in December. You have till June. robotlearning.org. Here we go. If you want to see that. So there's a lot of topics that they have listed here that I looked at. Where is it? The topic. Okay. I'm not able to find the list here. They have, if you dig through this call for papers, I believe they have a lot of, here it is. So it actually gives the list of topics, like a suggested topics that they're interested in. And I thought my students who are working on AV, autonomous vehicle, would be interested in that. And there's a lot of stuff on, general manipulation of robot and stuff. I like the learning for human-robot interaction, this one. Learning for robot-human interaction and robot instruction by natural language, gestures, as well as alternate devices. So those of you who are in robotics or in IoT, or who are thinking about AIX design of the human device or AI interaction that we've been talking about, your work might be relevant here. And I like the way that robot instruction by natural language and gesture is a topic here. So I have some ideas, but I just thought, if those of you who, and it's still June, you have time. So if you're interested in it, you can come up with something. So again, I'll be sharing all this in the Jamthe newsletter. And then there was, Pamela Gupta, who works on cybersecurity, and she actually works on AI business holistically, but cybersecurity is her specialty. At IoT Day, she was saying, hey, I'm not seeing enough material on Trustworthy AI. And I was telling her, go look at research and you should contribute to research. You'll be able to find that. But one of the things I love about Pamela is she's a woman of action. And so immediately she said, hey, what are the different pillars of Trustworthy AI? I'm just going to pick one at a time and start writing about it. She immediately went and said, okay, I'm going to start introducing an interactive series. And what are the different pillars? This is how she's looking at, take an AI system and it could sense or comprehend or act, and then it falls, different technologies fall under different categories. So she started, picking each, and then she wants to think about, what are the pillars for Trustworthy AI. So I know there's many papers on Trustworthy AI. Rebecca Tweed had done a fantastic, massive report for IEEE about Trustworthy AI. So, I hope, if you're working in Trustworthy AI, maybe you will, communicate, comment here, or collaborate with Pamela. I want Pamela to not just do this as a post. She does live stream like me. She also writes and talks and does a lot of work. So it'll be fantastic. And I think she is She runs an organization called Women in Cybersecurity. This is WICYS. And they're changing, they're moving from WICYS, Trusted AI Affiliate, to Advancing Trust in AI as a group name, Advancing Trust in AI. So I hope you'll collaborate with Pamela on that, because there's a lot of opportunity. IEEE just had a paper, the call closed, about a special edition for Trustworthy AI. So there's a lot of demand on Trustworthy AI, because it has been proven by research, if people do not trust AI, they will stop engaging with it. And if you think about all the way tech is built, it is optimized for engagement, which is kind of the bane of social media. But engagement means you keep coming back, or you spend more time with your app or a product. And if you stop using that, then they get less users, and then the product doesn't scale, and then maybe they consolidate, or the business goes out, and things like that, right? And that's how we have cycles in tech. And so engagement is very, 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 very important, which is how growth and product optimization, everything is done in tech industry. And trust is the foundation, or trust is correlated to engagement. So if people do not, it's in simple terms, if you don't trust a product, if I had, I'm Alexa here, and I've turned her off because she keeps talking and listening. When I think she's not listening, she's listening. And I don't know why she's a she. And so I don't trust whether it's collecting more data than what I want it to collect. And if I don't trust, I'm going to stop engaging with a product. And that is true of every possible product, not just AI. So Trustworthy AI is a very, very important topic in business with exponential technology in general. So I would recommend, following Pamela Gupta. And if you're working in Trustworthy AI, send your, follow up with me, ping me. And maybe, we can showcase your work or bring you in to speak at Weekly Wednesday, or, we can find some collaboration. So I've been sharing a bunch of different things today. I told you about the IJCAI awards, Women in AI awards from awards, Institute of Rebooting Social Media for Harvard Buckman Klein Center, the Waymo 2022 Challenges and Perception Dataset, Pamela's Trustworthy AI series that's coming, and then the robotics conference where you could potentially post. It's been a lot of different things, maybe something interests you, maybe something interests somebody else. So I'm going to put this all back on the Jamthe newsletter. And don't forget, we met with Vlad today, and hopefully you will follow up on his 5 minutes with Ukraine. I'm going to show you the Jamthe newsletter. Again, I'm very big on respecting your privacy, and if you don't want to follow me or sign up, I don't want you to be doing that. So let me show this. So bit.ly/Jamthe's newsletter is here. That's where I send out a newsletter every Sunday morning, my time. So if you don't want to sign up, you can go to bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter. This goes here, and then you can see the newsletter. You can proactively do that. And Yash helped me put this together, because I was kind of done being online after the long IoT Day 24 hours. So thank you, Yash. So you can see she loves the world of research. So this is coming from her. So this is the last Sunday newsletter. So you can just come, look at the newsletter and read it. Go back to past issues if you want to go do that. Or if you sign up here, then you'll get the newsletter. So if you want a push notification of it, that's fine. And at any point you don't find it useful, you can unsubscribe, because we have it on a MailChimp using GDPR compliance and whatnot. And all the links I shared about the various call for papers, the Rebooting Social Media Institute, the Waymo data set, and all the different things that I've shared, all of them are going to be linked and shared in the Jamthe newsletter. So bit.ly/Jamthe newsletter, so that on Sunday, if you subscribe to it, it's great. If not, come back, look at that. And hopefully we will connect back. I see Suresh here. Suresh, I thought you.
Hi, Sudha.
Hi, Suresh. Good to connect. Awesome. Good seeing you. I was just wrapping up. So Vlad was here. Vlad Mysla was here talking about 5 minutes with Ukraine and the horrible war that's happening, and how, there's like a whole personal leadership thing going on where people are collaborating and building donations and whatnot. And he has a 5 minutes newsletter. So I didn't expect anybody else in here today. So did you have a question or a comment, Suresh?
Nothing. I'm just happy to connect back and learn a little more from the AI things. So that's good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Suresh. Okay, so I was just getting ready to wrap up. So hope you all have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. And definitely check out Vlad Mysla's 5 Minutes in Ukraine newsletter on LinkedIn. And hopefully, I will see some of you back at Weekly Wednesday. Some of you who missed out on IoT Day would go to businessschoolofai.com and click on IoT Day and sign up and, get your emails and get the listing, or come and watch any of the sessions that I've been sharing from Yash, from Aisha Guadape, and otherwise get the newsletter. That's a lot of stuff. I just put that back in one big long sentence. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you all somewhere online, either on Wednesday or next Friday. Okay, thanks. Bye. And stay safe.
Bye. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop my live.